It really showed me how much they care about our planet, life, how they were willing to stop a catastrophe on this planet. It really gave me a, a mind expansion that, like every other kinds of species, they're all across the board. Yeah, the good, bad, the ugly. Well, this was some of the good.
Till I was 11 when I had to come here to the United States. It was like living with them is like living in paradise versus like if I were to live in the United States, it's like a culture shock for me as a reptilian. Because to be honest with you, I do not believe in an ideology of individualism. Reptilians and draconians like us, we have what we call a communitarian culture, a we culture. Like if you go over to Southeast Asia, go to India, go to any of the countries that in the southern regions, it's pretty much a culture where we live like you'll notice like our grandmother, our great grandparents, our parents, our children, we all live together in one little house. And there's such thing as a clan. There's no such thing as like I versus everybody else in my family. That's like that's socially unacceptable to us.
Thank you, indeed. What's coming to me at this moment is also kind of the tree of life teachings and the mystery schools and the Norse religions or Norse tradition. And Christian, I saw that tree of life on that stone you painted. I think that's relevant because one thing that's I think very pronounced in the Norse traditions that is valuable too in today's age and back then and kind of always is the importance of vows. And one of the um, rites and practices that basically you cannot break, or that is highly frowned on, that if you do break it, is a vow. If you take a vow to any particular way of life or a promise in life in the Norse tradition, then basically I understand that the serpent Nidhogger will be, they say, nipping at your ankles and gnawing at your feet, just as he's depicted as the serpent of the earth, kind of constantly gnawing at the roots of the Yggdrasil, the tree of life. So there's that importance, kind of a serpent and promise element there, sincerity. So, yeah, really, I guess this kind of ties into, I think what's more prevalent in like the vast majority of reptilians in the universe. I don't want to say that I've witnessed is they're much more about sincerity and authenticity and intentionality, quite often a kind of like holy context of living. Um, and even I believe the what we call holy and sacred ways of living, they're taught by earthly traditions or traditions on earth, um, kind of is helpful to start evolution. But what I've experienced and the energy I've tapped into just briefly through my friend Aileron, there's like possibly hundreds of levels to consider for more of a spiritual evolution beyond just what the holy traditions of Earth might teach. Kind of like a gateway, a starting point, I believe, for humans. So we are an hour into the channel or not channel, Reptilians panel, and I feel that we've already covered a lot of territory. We have officially an hour left, that was scheduled for the event. If people want to leave like in half an hour, that's okay too, or when you need to. Um, but I also want to open the floor to our guests and participants for a Q&A portion. If you want to raise your hand one by one, we can answer you and answer your questions, especially Christian and Andy and myself, if I have an answer. Go ahead, Carol. It looks like you're the first hand raised.
Okay, thank you, Troy. I'll just share the one experience that I've had, and then I'd appreciate any feedback. And I kind of put this more in the category of shape-shifting, but that's just me. And this happened 2019 at a conference at 108 Mile House, which is about 6 hours drive north of Vancouver, BC. And I had my adult sons with me for that conference because they were living in Vancouver also. But it involved the host of the conference, and it was not a very big conference. And the bottom line was he was the host of the conference, not the organizer, but like the MC. And twice during the conference, I viewed him shapeshift his head into a reptilian. And it was kind of unnerving. And when I got home, I looked through a lot of pictures to get the closest one that I could find. But the only other thing that I could say around that is that when I first met the man, when I first arrived at the conference, we didn't have a disagreement, but I had been driving like for 6 hours with my sons in the mountains, and we made it to the conference and made it to the room, and there was like a bar set up on the side. So I just got there, and I asked him if there was going to be, a bar set up, which they do in a lot of the conference room, and he just kind of looked at me and asked, well, what, you need a drink or something? So we didn't get off to a good start. And also during the conference, and my sons have very long fuses, they just do. But my older son, during one of the presentations, a woman was presenting on numerology, and the host was in the audience, but he was like heckling the presenter so much that my son actually got out and left because he was so irritated by this guy. And that was so unusual too. So I don't know what he was giving off, but I saw him twice as a reptilian in the face. Anybody? I had one person tell me when I came home that it was probably because he wanted me to see him that way. I haven't told many people that I've seen this. So if anyone else has any insight, I'd appreciate it.
Sounds like you had the eyes to see.
What's that?
It sounds like you had the eyes to see.
The eyes to the city or the eyes to see?
That's to see. To be
see.
able to see.
Yes, I do have abilities over my life. I mean, I have paranormal abilities.
Yeah. I've had experiences where, not like that with Reptilian, but where I'm able to see people's auras and colors, things in the room that nobody, and then you realize, this being has got a spiritual presence. You have your own spiritual presence. We recognize each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a good a good analogy of people that see auras.
Yeah.
Wait, so Carol, let me understand this. So this man was showing off by shape-shifting in front of you and other people?
He was shape-shifting. Yes, I mean, I physically saw him as a reptilian on 2 occasions.
That's just socially unacceptable. I mean, like, I'm going to be honest with you, like, as reptilians, we do not show off who we are to people. Even I'm by definition a Draco. I have Draco blood in me. I don't do that.
Mhm.
Because first off, to show off who you are, in our Siddha tradition, showing off superhuman powers is pride. That's not okay in our tradition.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know. That's kind of like
He-
what Hiroshi said, that for some reason he wanted, I don't know. I doubt that other people saw it, but
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
that's the thing. He may not have been showing off. You had the eyes to see what others could not. You saw through it. He didn't
possibly,
show it off. It's just because you're more spiritually developed that you could see through.
possibly.
And
Possibly.
anybody else saw this, or is it just you?
Oh, I didn't ask anybody else. I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't ask anybody else because, one, I'm a very private person, and this was most of the people at this conference. It was led by the Dowsers Association. He was a dowser. And so it was added on as a paranormal conference, but I didn't know, I wasn't there with anybody else that, no, it just seemed too odd to me. And I'm a private person. This is very unusual for me to share this.
There's nothing
Thank you for
unusual.
sharing this.
It's okay. Nothing unusual about that. But usually, like, I don't sense anything bad about him, but maybe perhaps you've been looking for one. Am I right? You've been wanting to see a reptilian. I guess
No,
he granted
no.
his. Yes, from what I sense, it sounds like he's granting your wish.
Yeah, okay. No, I've had enough. I feel that over my lifetime, it's been, the paranormal experiences have been more, fear-based, especially 20s and 30s. And in my 20s and 30s, when there wasn't the internet and it was very difficult to find information, yes, I feel like a lot of the, especially early experiences, were, more fearful of what had happened or when they happen. Mm-hmm.
Well,
Thank you.
definitely.
Well, thank you for listening to me. And well, if I ever decide I want to, I've never thought of going out and looking for alien races during the day, but or the evening, I could try it.
Well, you already have an alien talking to you on the chat. I am one of them.
There you go. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt about myself either. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story, Carol. I believe next up is Megan. She was having trouble raising her hand on Zoom, but she wanted to say something.
Oh, hi, everybody. My name is Megan Scott. Um, so I've had a number of different experiences, and first, if you don't mind if I address the lady that was just on, yes, you're what's considered a starseed. Your soul is not from planet Earth. And like everybody here, I mean, it's very rare to get a whole group of them all in one, but not all of our souls didn't come from Earth. None of ours did. So I've had connections with, I had a very large, he was about 12 foot tall, solid white reptilian step through my closet. He had large wings, and the energy that he was giving off was very benevolent, very calming. But this was in the very beginning of my spiritual awakening, and I was in fear. I was very scared of it because I didn't know it. I mean, like, my gifts had only been activated for maybe a month, and so I got very scared, and I didn't know how to take it. And then within like a year later, he decided to come back through. But whenever he left the first time, it's like he touched something on his waist and he like dissipated. And I kept hearing him tell me, it's okay, calm down. I'm here to guide you. And but because I was in fear, I was scared because all I'd ever heard, was that it's a demon. They're evil. I didn't know anything about it. But then a year, and he just immediately, I mean, with no question, nothing, he instantly touched something on his waist and he like dissipated. It was like almost like a fog. He faded out. And then when he came through the second time, it was the same being, and he said that he was simply here to guide and to help with um, me learning and helping me with understanding who I am and um, understanding my origin and connecting with those that I need to connect with. And this has been, oh my God, 8 years ago. Um, so like I'm a psychic medium and I specialize in star seeds and extraterrestrials and everything. And I'm a holy fire Reiki master and a trance channeler. So it's like now I understand everything and I'm more connected. And I also have had like connections with the it was over a matter of 4 days. Um she she told me she's the ancient mother dragon. Her name was Alba, and she looked like one of those the very large mystical dragons, the ones that breathe fire. I don't know their name. She's very she wore this necklace, and it was a very large emerald. She was white and green, and she wore this green emerald necklace, and it's the biggest emerald I'd ever seen. And she carried this device in her hand, and it was like shaped into like almost like an octagon shape, and it opened, and it was like she was, and I don't know, as soon as she touched it, it's like time and everything around me like instantly slowed down and stopped. But every time she had me touch the emerald, it was like as soon as I touched it, I no memory. I mean, like everything was like from there on, I don't know what happened. I wasn't able to remember it. And I mean, like I was in this very large cavern, and I mean, like I know because like I was meditating. My mom and my daughter and my brother were looking for me. They could not find me, and there's no way out of my bedroom. And I'm not going to crawl out my window. I mean, my phone was there, my purse. I mean, like I'm not going to leave that behind. And I was literally taken. And in this cavern that I was in, it was this cave that, I mean, it was so massive, and there was other dragons there. But over the matter of 4 days, that last day, they like there wasn't as many. And she had told me that the technology that they have is what's keeping them here, or helping them stay. And she I mean, like she comes to me constantly. I mean, like I don't dream a whole lot that I remember, and there's a reason for it. But it's like when I'm meditating, or I can like be sitting in my office, and all of a sudden it's like it literally everything like goes in still motion, like everything stops, and it's like I'm like stilled. And I'm taken outside. And I mean, I know this sounds crazy. Okay. I know it does. Um, but it's like every time I've had connections with her, she amplifies and activates something else inside me. And she did tell me that she was she was she was Mother Alba. And so it's like the connection that I have to both is miraculous, because it's like my bloodline is I'm Cherokee, and I'm O negative, RH negative, and it's I'm and then it's like my soul origin is a blue avian Anunnaki, and it's like the connections I have there, and it's like everything that has occurred with the reptilians and with the mythical dragons and different extraterrestrial beings, um the stigma that they are placing on most of these beings, yes there's good ones, yes there's bad ones, but they're not all like they're trying to make them seem. They don't want us to have this interaction with them. They don't want us to find that spiritual connection, that level of openness, and know that we're not the only ones. And it's sad and it bothers me because it's like I know the connections that I've had are real. I'm not crazy. I've never had any mental illness. And it's like I know how things happened, and I know that I've been shown other things. My spirit guide is Ra, the Egyptian sun god. My guardian and my protector is Anu, the All Father, the Sky Father of the Anunnaki. And it's like the things that they've shown me and taken me to and allowed me to see and witness um, are just miraculous. The things that they've told me, the things that they've explained to me, and the reasoning behind every, the world wanting to be in fear, needing to be in fear of extraterrestrials, is because they don't want us to have that connection and to know who we are and to know our true connection. And it's everybody is able to have a connection because those that are those that this have a strong feeling or a sense of not belonging here and not being able to fit in and find your place. If you have that feeling where you are drawn to dragons or you're drawn to different extraterrestrial beings, all you have to do is call on them and ask them to come in, and they will literally come in. They're waiting, like literally they're waiting for you to give them permission to start working with you, because they do strongly work on free will. And if you don't give that permission, and if you don't ask them to come in, like your spirit guides and so forth, they're just standing there waiting. So, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Sorry.
Thank you for sharing your experiences and insight, Megan.
Mhm.
Um, Megan, I don't think we've met in person, but somehow you look familiar, like we've met before.
Yes, we have. Well, we've all met, and I do feel like, like I said, I don't remember my dreams, and there's reasons for it, but we all have met. Not just We haven't met here on Earth, like here in person, but we have met on the astral and many past lives. All of us, many past lives. We all have a connection to each other through past lives, and this day was waiting. It's like it was in writing. It was in writing. It was waiting to happen because it was this day for all of us to come together. We're all meant to come together because we're all meant to do something very important, um and not just important, but to help get the word out. And I mean, we may just be a small group, but our small group is very powerful, especially with those that are in it, and allowing and pushing that out there and giving people the opportunity to see that not all reptilians are bad. My best friend, she's reptilian, and she actually was having some major problems with some bad ones, and she finally overcame that. And um it's, like, and it was because I came through, I came into her life. But it's like there is we're meant to do so much with our small group. Our small group is going to do something massively powerful. I mean, like, I can feel it. And yes, we all are connected, and we've all shared a past life, many past lives together, and not just singly, but in the group. We've all worked together as a group in every past life. and we weren't able to accomplish or finish what we needed to. That's why we're back now. But this is our last lives here, guys. This lifetime, we won't be back. We finally get to, go home for good.
Many of
So,
us, and actually that's something I'm working on as a soul in this body before it ceases. Um, Perhaps we could talk about that. Does anyone else have a hand to raise, a story to share, a question this time?
Megan, I think when I did tell this to her in the chat, or I don't know if people are following the conversation on the chat, but like when I asked her, okay, describe to me who is Alba, and then
mhm.
when she gave me those images, and I compare and contrast to somebody else in my family or my soul group that is, I was like, wait a sec, is Alba Christonia? Like, she's my stepmother. Turns
She's my
out,
mother.
and it turns out, I just found, Joy, you just gave me my stepsister. Are you kidding me?
Maybe this is fate.
Yes.
You brought my stepsister into the Zoom call, and she's a descendant of the royal family. I'm a, I'm the son of the emperor, and who is also her father too.
Yeah. It's just amazing. I'm just like I said, this day has been waiting. This time has been waiting because we're meant to accomplish whatever we're working on in our many past lives. We're meant to accomplish it in this life and bring awareness and open up everybody's eyes and let them see that not all things are bad, and what they're trying to portray and put out there is not true. And I mean, like, they're trying to twist everybody's thinking about all of it. I mean, like, I wrote 9
Mhm.
different books, and I speak a lot about it in my Celestial Bloodlines book. And so it's like the connection um, to the dragons, and knowing that I met my stepbrother for the first time, not knowing that this, I wasn't even going to come to this because I was fixing to go to the store, and I was like, something, Anu was like, no, you have to stay. You have to get on here and you have to go to this. There's no waiting around. You have to do it. The store can wait. I was like, okay. So, but thank you guys.
You're welcome, Megan. I don't see other hands raised at this time. Um, Megan, it looks like you have a website and some services you offer. Do you want to drop a link to your website in the chat?
Oh
And
yeah, I will. So like I am an intuitive psychic medium. So like I will give you like a little bit of background on me. I have read a number of different celebrities. I've read Elon Musk on Zoom, and it wasn't just like through video chat, like through voice chat. We were actually on Zoom, and that was a very difficult reading because I mean it took a 30-minute reading took almost 4 hours because he goes, oh, hold on a second. I have to get back to you. I have to give me 1 second. So it was very challenging. I've read Kevin Gates and Miley Cyrus. Those are the ones that I'm able to mention. Um, like I said, I do offer starseed origin readings, um, different galactic. I'm also a galactic Akashic records reader. I offer tarot past life readings. I offer 51 different readings and services. I've wrote 9 books that are all on Amazon. I've also created 13 different courses, and I've read over 78,000 people in the last 4 years. And like I said, I do have a website, and I do have a Facebook and a Facebook business page and a TikTok. So yeah, and if anyone, would ever like to get a reading or learn more about their galactic family, like my starseed origin readings consist of me going into your natal chart, finding your starseed origin, and then I give you a brief description of your origin, and then I go in and I channel a member of your Origin's High Council to give me light codes for a number of different upgrades and activations. And then I do a 6-card reading, which are 6 direct messages from your star family to you. My readings aren't very expensive. My starseed readings are $55, where people charge for less than that, almost $500, which I think is ridiculous. And I'm also a hypnotherapist and a QHHT practitioner. So if anyone would ever like to get any readings or works done, feel free to message me, and I will drop my Facebook and my website in the chat.
Well, Megan, I just emailed you.
Okay, you did? Okay.
Yeah, thing is
I don't need you.
if you want to get in touch with my family, they're going to start telling you who you really are to me too. It's like it's going to get really emotional on you because oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have some conversations. Most definitely.
Well, thank you very much, Megan. Yeah,
Thank
please do include your links in the chat in case anyone else listening live wants to check you out and what you have to offer. Um, we will connect later too, and perhaps I can
Yes.
get your links in the YouTube video description, just as I'll be including Christian and Andy's links and their services in the video description for those listening live or listening later.
Okay.
Um, we are up to an hour and a half now, just about into the panel. So I want to also hear from Christian briefly about sort of what services he offers, what professions and expertise he has, and how people can get in touch with him.
Basically, um, most of the stuff that I do is at our gatherings. I don't do a whole lot online. I do energy extractions for people. I can do it remotely. I work with a didgeridoo and kind of go around somebody's body until I find a spot, and then usually I start pulling out what's causing them pain. I find that pain is mostly energetic, and very rarely does it begin physical. That's not, of course, for all pain, but with a lot of people, I've been able to find where those energy blockages are, and then just drain out the blockage, which allows people to heal themselves. And then I just basically drain blockages. And but it removes. It's like, you think about energy has to constantly move, but if you have a blockage, it's got nowhere to move, so it's in a small space, and it just keeps swirling and swirling and massive, and it's like it's pushing against the edge of your aura, almost like, a confined space in a sense, and and that's what actually causes the pain. So that's one of the things that I work on. And yeah, you find me at our gatherings, doing lots of well, everything. um just basically co-creating.
And Christian, could you tell us more about the gatherings that you're in person at and how people can find that and what happens there?
Yes, we do Sasquatch family reunions with Kelly Rainbow Butterfly. And you can look up Kelly's web we have a website for it under childrenoferthcoalition.com, which is kind of like our umbrella for all the things that we work on. We're very active in permaculture and teaching how to heal the planet, which we consider is hand in hand with the messages to Sasquatch humanity. I should mention about the Sasquatch messages to humanity. Kelly has published 3 books on that, and basically we subscribe to the Sasquatch being a very benevolent, a very very psychic interdimensional species. And we go and we have talks about that interdimensionality and bridging that dimensionality, those interdimensionalities, and coming closer to the Sasquatch. And as we develop our relations to the Sasquatch, we're going to find we're symbiotically developing our relations to the Earth. That they really are one and the same in many levels. We have a lot of people come from all over the world. We gather in Kettle Falls, usually around the first week of every June. It's a 3-day camp out at Locust Grove, and lots of wonderful communion, lots of wonderful talks, lots of wonderful food, and most importantly, a lot of co-creating and a lot of co-sharing.
Lovely, Christian. Yeah, I believe Carol is still listening. I can talk about or speak to the Sasquatch Family Reunion briefly, and I'll be sure to have the Children of Earth Coalition and the Sasquatch Family Reunion websites and everything linked up in the YouTube description if anyone wants to check those out. I went there for the first time last year, actually, as I was invited as a speaker and what was it? Kind of speaker and presenter titles. Um, but yeah, I gave a couple of talks and I have a lot more to share this time. And it's a lovely, lovely gathering, as you said. It's the first of its type gathering I've been to since my walk-in experience a little over 4 years ago. And before my walk-in, my walkout used to attend the Family and Human Relations Congress or Fair and Human Relations Congress in Twist, Washington. From the greater Seattle area and the Western Washington urban cities. Kettle Falls is a little bit further than Twisp. It's like a 5 to 6 hour drive. You want to leave early in the morning, I would say, if you want to get there before dark. But yeah, it's a lovely gathering. And the first time I got there, I didn't really know what to expect, but I was quickly and warmly welcomed. Um, and yeah, everyone there feels like family. Actually, I was looking at the online poster, um, actually for months or yeah, months before I went there in person, and I recognized a few faces on there from the Family and or Fair and Human Relations Congress, but um, a number of other faces I felt familiarity with, and so I just sort of assumed that I had met them at Fairy Congress, but it turns out that I did not. Not even my walkout met them there, and it was such a connection and such a family reunion beyond human that some of the souls I met there, I'm still in contact with and still talking with and working with, um, that we'd met in past lives, not even this lifetime in this functioning body. But yeah, it's that kind of reunion that for anybody, especially starseeds, anybody into the Sasquatch community, especially those who believe that and understand that Sasquatch is more of a benevolent and enlightened, advanced being and race and group, whatever words you want to use to describe that. It is really an expansive, an opening, and healing gathering. I was taught by one of the Sasquatch. I think I felt a Divine Mother Sasquatch presence in a copper pyramid I was meditating in last June. Um, Sort of more about how the dynamics of how myself as a soul should be putting out my energy and my offerings to attract more of like the not just clients but followers and people and connections um, who are resonant with me toward me and connect with people better instead of the more Piscean masculine minded ways that I was trying to do previously. Um, yeah, it's really transformative gathering. We sing songs, share meals. There's this awesome thing that I was introduced to, the blanket trade ceremony.
Great blanket.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, everyone is encouraged to bring um, something or a basket or bag or a collection of things they're willing to let go of with some usually metaphysical or mystical or holistic value, and or just art or something nice. And we take turns offering one of the more valuable things a person has brought, and then put it on the blanket. And then it's kind of like an auction type of a thing, really, where other people um, speak up one by one. And if they have something kind of value they want to offer in exchange, then they can put on the blanket, and then the original person who offered the valuable thing can decide if they're willing to trade or not, and for what. And so it's really amazing. You get to let go of things and then kind of come back with some things if you want to bring them back with you. Um, that's a bit about the Sasquatch family
And
reunion.
I'd also like to add on the trade blanket that the history of that goes back to the indigenous, but it goes so far back with the indigenous that it started out with the indigenous trading with the Sasquatch.
Hmm, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. On that note, Christian, don't you and Kelly kind of have an ongoing relationship trading and receiving things from the Sasquatch beings?
We go to the woods a lot. We don't leave offerings for them. Like, you hear a lot of people like leave apples and stuff. We don't do that too much, but we feel their presence everywhere we go. And we commune in nature. I've actually been kind of I've been tasking myself, just moving into the space of when we go into the woods now to greet each tree individually and give it a great big hug, to start developing a relationship, not just with nature, but with all the beings in nature, the trees, the grass, the stones, to touch them, to say, I love you, to caress them, to hold them, to merge hearts. We spend time in nature, but that's really spending time interacting with nature in a very open heart space. I've been finding that really opens up the communication and the channels with them and other beings as well.
Beautiful.
But
So I'll have the Children of Earth and Sasquatch Family Reunion websites linked in the description in the YouTube videos. Um, and so this is Christian Sheena, and he will be hosting the Sasquatch Family Reunion, or kind of co-facilitating it with his partner Kelly Rainbow Butterfly. Kelly is also a Sasquatch hybrid and very lovely person. Next, I would like to also hear from Andy Lai, and more about, Andy, what you have to offer, what you have going on, your websites, and ways people can get in touch with you.
Oh, Troy, honestly, like my website, let's just say, is under renovation because I'm actually, you can get in touch with me through Facebook. Good job on posting my link on there. But regarding like services, I'm actually going to school for Ayurveda and Siddha medicine. I'm getting my master's degree, and I'm doing an online business program for global management in Arizona State University. So pretty much like what I do for someone like myself, since you know how draconians and reptilians are, we're very business mindset people. So if you're seeking to grow your stocks or doing investments and learn how to manage your wealth as a starseed, you can come to me because I'm actually your Draco that actually manage the money. If you want to how to start your own investment, you know how to do Bitcoin. That's basically what I do. And if you want to know how to do healing like what I do and be a transcendent master, I can absolutely do that too, because I am in contact with a Siddha medicine guru who is actually a reptilian like I am. So yes, I met a lot of my own people like in India. So pretty much like the best way to get a hold of someone like myself is go to India, go live among my people in southern India, like where Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Sri Lanka. Those are the areas where my people live. Or go to Himalayas. You can go there if you want. You're going to see a lot of my own over there.
Lovely, Andy. Well, unless anyone else has another hand raised, or another question or story to add, that's kind of the panel. Andy, I'll be sure to include your website. I think you already sent that to me in a message. Perhaps you can send that to me again to make it easy, and I'll have that in the YouTube description. Or if anyone wants to connect with Christian or Andy or possibly Megan, we talked with, get in touch with myself and I can connect with you with them. And I know a lot of people. My name is Troy J. Bacon. I'm on Facebook as Troy J. Bacon, and most of you, I think, in the audience are already on Facebook and following on meetup.com, where we have this event posted. I know I shared this in the Facebook group. So thank you everyone who participated. Unless there are any final thoughts, Christian or Andy or anybody else wants to share, then go ahead.
I'd like to share a message from the Sasquatch. I got 2 messages from them.
Mm-hmm.
First one was, I was in my driveway and I was feeling in my heart how I wanted to connect with the Sasquatch more. And immediately I got this message. You wish us to be your greater brothers and sisters. We would like you to be a greater brother to all the littler brothers and sisters in your world first, which I have taken to heart. The other message is, it's kind of interesting because I realized it's a simple saying, but there's numerology behind it, and it's much more powerful than it seems. Hugs heal hearts. That's also Triple H. That's also 888. Lionsgate. But go hug somebody today as we hug each other's hearts, as we connect with each other through our hearts and hug each other heart to heart. We reconnect our hearts as humanity, human unity. Go hug somebody you love today.
I love that message and thank you for sharing, Christian. Christian,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome. Christian, I'll be seeing you and Kelly also on March 3rd. We have you scheduled for talking about more of like a Sasquatch, let's call it Sasquatch Connection panel. It's on the SUFON Meetup page. I'll be sure to share that in the Facebook group too. Might make a Facebook event for it too. Anyway, watch for that if you haven't already RSVP'd and seen that. And yeah, I look forward to talking with you and Kelly again very shortly. I'll be sure to also record that. That will be an interesting conversation and share that on the SUFON YouTube channel. Get more of this awareness and there'll be messages out. And then there, Christian and Kelly will also be able to inform everyone a lot more about what to expect at the Sasquatch family reunion, and also how that kind of ties into not just the Sasquatch and possibly reptilians, but the UFO, the ET connections that SUFON is about. So,
Yeah, we get all sorts of connections, all sorts of it's a community.
mhm.
It's a galactic community, an intergalactic community, and they're all there. And it's a family reunion. I really want to emphasize that. When I started this 5, 6 years ago with Kelly, I was just getting to know everyone. And some people I might have met once or twice, but I was really enjoying who I was meeting. Today, I just like for months and months, I can't wait to see you again in a few months, Joy. I can't wait to see so many people. And when I think about getting together, I just want to open up my arms and give you all the greatest, most wonderful heart to heart hug. It has truly become a family reunion.
It has. Yeah, and I'm excited to see many of the other souls who will be attending there. Taylor, you have a question or comment?
Yeah, so I showed up a little bit late, and I was just curious before the meet. It kind of feels like the meeting's kind of coming to a close. What did you guys talk about the drones at all yet, or like that whole drone phenomena that happened like what, a month ago?
Um, Not so much in this conversation. It's been more focused on the reptilian um, experiences and beings and reptilians from around our cosmos and on our planet.
Oh, okay. But does anybody have any theories on those things? Like, do you guys think it's government, or you guys think that it's something from under the ocean, or like before we get out of here, you guys got any thoughts?
So
Um,
if I can, oh, sorry.
Go
Um,
ahead, Megan. I can speak to it
so
now.
so the orbs that people were seeing, I can honestly say that those are the Orphanum angels, and the drones were actually what I got, because I actually did a podcast on this, on the drones and the orbs, and um the drones were they were coming from what I picked up, and this is my belief, nobody else's, but I picked up that they came from um on the other side of the ice wall. They were also coming through Antarctica, and but they weren't coming from a benevolent sense. They were coming more from a malevolent sense. And the orbs themselves, what I picked up were they were the Orphanum angels, um, and they were trying to counteract, these drones coming through, because what I picked up was they were more so like trying to create um some chaos and some disruption um prior to deals being made with them, to bring them, to allow them to come over here to create chaos, um and but the orbs were trying to counteract that. We're trying to literally prevent that from happening. And it's crazy because my grandson, he's autistic, and he started seeing these orphan angels, as there was an orb like outside, in the sky, as he was coming over, and he seen it. It's like, the wheels upon wheels, that Ezekiel speaks about, with all the eyes on there. And he said that he was like, they're good, they're trying to help. And but my theory and my belief is that, and what I spoke about in a podcast that I did on this, is that they came from around Antarctica, from the other side of the ice wall, from some non-benevolent, some malevolent um races that were in cohorts with different people trying to bring chaos and disruption and fear. And that's why they were instantly shut down the way they were. They were, like that's why they didn't take hold. But that's just my belief, and that's what I picked up, and um and I saw it. So, but when you said that, I just thought I should tune in on that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt anybody.
No worries, Megan. I want to also comment on the orbs thing. Um, I'm also not so tuned into the media very often, but I kind of get inklings and information, and when I want to research information, that I get through social media outlets, and so I did see a lot of the headlines and the reactions, kind of hysteria and fanaticism that people were sharing about the orb phenomena, or not just orbs, but the drone phenomena, and the especially that drone airplane crash thing in New Jersey. That then right away that day, the FBI said that they don't know what's going on, and they don't actually know what they're dealing with yet, and they will update people when they can. And of course, just like the FBI and three-letter agencies do, they didn't actually release another detailed statement about what happened, and so it was all covered up. Pretty typical of them, in my opinion. And yeah, I was feeling right when that happened that that was a government fabricated, or at least the government had a hand in that, fabricating and covering up that crash, because otherwise advanced and somewhat enlightened, um, or certainly advanced and intelligent ET beings that I know of and have heard of don't crash with us anymore. They know better, and they keep to themselves, usually under mountains and wherever, under the ocean. And they also, some of them also have technology to either teleport away or phase through our material objects. But yeah, I feel that that was a government fabricated and covered up crash, but they allowed it to be released in the mainstream news, kind of, I believe, as part of their long-term drip feed agenda of conditioning the public of this idea and theorizing about ETs and UFOs, but then not actually showing UFO craft and evidence to us. Um, I've heard that agenda that they're rolling out is largely because they know that the narrative, the reality really is out of hand. They can't control it, and that the majority of the public, a large part of the public now, is completely in the know, and we know what we've experienced and seen and what's going on. And so they're proposing this false narrative of possibly fear-based, possibly something to fear, something unknown, um, of these UFOs, these ETs, a lot of uncertainty, and trying to propose it. Some people have theorized that they're going to launch like a false flag alien invasion episode. I'm not sure about that myself, that that's going to be like a final episode that they're leading up to, but I think that they're just trying to still control the narrative a bit on that level, and put these fabricated and very easy to cover up events out there.
I would like
think
to
that
add something, Troy. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I disconnected from media directly.
Hmm.
It doesn't take you agreeing or disagreeing with something for our energies to aid in the manifestation of an intent just the belief that it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we see everything just coming down the road, just around the corner. This is going to happen. This is going to be in the future. We're thinking about doing this. You know, when I step back and I look at how everyone, you know, who, especially negative based energy, it can create a lot. And I think about how these people have intent to doing it, and they got all these people, millions of people around the country and world sometimes going, oh no, and all of a sudden all the resources start coming in for them because people are focusing on it. It's a responsibility for us to disengage if we truly want to quit aiding in that which we dislike.
Yeah, and it's like with that, you know, like they had this agenda where they were going to push, you know, all this negative stuff out on everybody, but they didn't anticipate everybody actually seeing through through them. They didn't expect everybody to, you know, people starting to really truly awaken and be able to see what they're doing, and that it's all just for control. And people are finally seeing the truth, and they're not playing into their games no more. And it's so, and I love it that people are finally seeing everything for what it truly is, because it needed to happen. They didn't at first. I don't see, I mean, like, I'm just amazed how they they didn't anticipate everybody to awaken like they did. They didn't ever expect everybody to see them for what they truly are. And so, like, their agenda they had fell through so bad, and they're so not happy about it. But I love it. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to talk to you about real quick. You said that you deal with a lot of Sasquatch. Um, have you had any dealings with the blonde Sasquatch at all?
The blonde Sasquatch,
Mm-hmm.
like the white Yeti.
Well,
I
no, they are they look like, you know, normal Sasquatch, but I don't know what region they're in. They just came to me during meditation one time, and literally, um, you know, like, they were like, they had a blonde. They were like, and that's, I mean, like, they had a like blonde hair. Their hair was blonde. It wasn't a darker colored, and they they said that, you know, the one that I spoke with, you know, was very gentle, very kind, very loving. The energy was just phenomenal. And I was going through some rough times, and I literally could feel that he took like the back of his hand and he pushed it up against my face, and he was like, it's gonna be okay. And he was like, he said that, you know, we're known for, you know, people know us, you know, in on, you know, the astral as being the blonde Sasquatch. And but a lot of people don't know us, but those that are connected do. And people have this theory about the Sasquatch, and I just didn't know if you've ever heard of the blonde Sasquatch or not. And also,
I've heard of all different kinds of Sasquatch and all different kinds of Sasquatch hybrids. I have not had any personal interactions with a blonde Sasquatch clan. I have had experiences with more energetic. They didn't have physical form. I had experience 3 nights actually where they came to me in energetic form, and I got to see them through my eyes, but in energetic form. It was kind of like looking through a hallway out in the woods, a mist hallway, and they were kind of on the other side of it. And it was kind of like holding up a torch. I wasn't holding up a torch, and this was at night,
yeah,
but it was like holding up a torch because they glistened. Their features glistened like you were holding up a torch. They had
yeah,
glistened golden, And what was really amazing was their auras were rainbow and they pulsated going clockwise around their bodies. And I actually developed, and I'm in the middle of developing a Tree of Life workshop on, because when I saw that, what I got from that was that all their chakras were aligned and working together harmoniously as a single geometrical unit activated.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, humans have the capability too. So I said, okay, let's do this. I'm willing. So I started working up all, and I found, there were actually 13 major chakras in the body, not just 7. But I started
There's a whole lot
working
more
with
than that.
aligning all of them.
Yeah.
And just it's a lot of times, my background is Buddhism, and a lot of times we talk about working out of your your third eye, your sixth chakra, or your seventh chakra, the crown chakra. But really, if
Your
you're
soul
going to
star.
move into the higher dimensions, it's not about being in one chakra. It's about
Yeah.
a well-oiled machine and full integration,
Fully.
where all the chakras are working harmoniously in tandem, co-creating together.
Yeah, your hand chakras, your feet chakras.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have so many different chakras. You got your hands, you got your feet, you got your knees. And it's like,
One foot above your head and 1 foot below your feet.
yeah,
There's
I use
also those
those.
two, and that actually makes a merba
I
between
can
the palms and the soles of the feet and the 7 chakras.
I also feel the chakras that Kabbalah teaches about, which are 11. Um, the middle pillar is partly also what the Hindu tradition taught us about is the main 7 and the hands and feet. And so yeah, it's a lot of chakras to get to know and work with and refine, but perhaps we can do that or talk more about that in other panels and events and online. Um, we're more than 2 hours in, and a few people already peeled off, but I want to answer another couple of questions. It's like Rolf has a question. Rolf, are you still there? Rolf, we can't hear you if you're speaking. Maybe your volume is turned down, or you need mic connection. We still cannot hear you.
I'm gonna have to jump off in a minute, Troy. I just looked at the
Okay.
time.
We'll see if Rolf gets his audio connected. Well, Christian, thank you for your participation and your time.
Thank you,
It's
and
been
bless
lovely
you. Thank
speaking
you
with
for
you.
having me. Bless you, Troy. Bless you in your life. May life meet you harmoniously in every step you take. Until next time. Bless.
You as well, brother. We will speak again soon.
Peace.
is Bill still here? He had a question for me about the drones.
Bill.
No. Okay.
I got a
Yeah,
question.
Okay.
Not necessarily just for you, Megan, just for everybody.
Okay.
So since this
Sorry.
is like a SUFON meetup, I'm curious, since the US, like the UAP congressional hearings, and then with the uptick in the drones and kind of the hysteria, Troy, not to take your term, yeah, the kind of hysteria around the drones, has there been an uptick in any sort of activity, like in Seattle in general, or like MUFON activity, or has there been any correlation between the two?
I could speak to that. Anybody else can if there's something to say. But yeah, I would say so. I've been hearing and seeing, I think, some posts online that yeah, there's been a big uptick in UFO sightings around not just the Northwest, but the United States and the world, I believe. That's really been going on for years, a few years now. The sightings reports of non-human originated craft, or non-conventional craft anyway, and objects in the sky, have been increasing dramatically. And this goes along with what my gray and mantis and alien family have been telling me for years, and why they're here is they have been telling me to pick up the pace, as well as they are picking up the um, sort of increasing their activity with humans and propagation, they call it. But really, we're kind of in the disclosure phase, they say, the second large and long phase of their operation here. They're in league with the Galactic Federation. I think my close gray and mantis family might also be in connection with the Hyperion Order, which transcends the Galactic Federation. I might have a Galactic Federation panel that would be worthwhile talking about. But um, yeah, basically there is an uptick going on, an increase, and they really are working with people largely in their sleep time, dreams, as well as I know I've been going up on the sphere ship, and that's their main ship I go to. Lately, I had a dream recently. I whenever I have dreams of like vivid dreams of seeing alien ships and things in the sky and notes them and talk with other people in the dream about it, then that's especially when I know that I've gone up, usually I think that night or recently, and that's my subconscious sort of speaking to me symbolically that that's been happening. I just had a dream recently though of seeing a black sphere way up in the sky, and the sphere ship I go to is massive, really. Um, yeah, super massive sphere. They do a lot of things on that ship, but I just had this a bit of remembrance of what happened in that trip. And this is one of the first times I had some strong remembrance and also emotional feeling of this encounter or this connection with one of my hybrid children up there. He looks like mostly human, but a little bit off human, a little different, a little bit like an alien human, but so he can't really just walk amongst us like human-looking hybrids, but he's there, and yeah, we were talking, and so that's been happening with me. I know that we're doing that with other people. I know that I'm not the only walk-in from that um, basically ship or group that um, they're here for. Um, I don't think I've met other walk-ins from their group, but um, yeah, I know that that's happening, and I've been seeing supposed sighting videos and reports in the SUFON Facebook group too, if you're in there. I know that there are a lot of other networks for reporting sightings, but I'm not up to date with all of them.
Hey, Troy, I can't raise my hand, but I have a couple comments when I could fit in.
Yes, go ahead, Bill.
Earlier they were asking about the drones that we're seeing in New Jersey,
Mm-hmm.
and I watch, I read the media stuff, just kind of, quick glance of stuff. But when that started happening, the Nuclear Regulatory Commission stated that they had a container coming in on a container ship that had nuclear material in it. And somebody had broken into that container and stolen that nuclear material. And then, not too long ago, the government actually said that those drones were authorized by the Federal Aviation Commission, and they were doing some scientific research and other things. They didn't tell what other things were. And then, a few weeks after the drone incident, there was a one-day article for upstate New York that a certain community, they were having a nuclear incident training exercise. And they were going to have all these different agencies out there training for nuclear incident and for people not to get excited. And so, I mean, I don't know what the drones were, but what I'm thinking is that there was nuclear material that got taken from a container. They were using those drones to try to figure out where that nuclear material was. And then they finally found it somewhere in upstate New York, and then they went to retrieve it. I could be wrong, but that's what I think was going on with those drones.
Honestly, that feels accurate to me, Bill. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. Something along those lines.